Hey everybody, hope you guys are having a wonderful weekend. Today, I am going to finally tell you from inside the room my opinion on which cable, transparent Opus or Shunyata Omega QRS, which of these two cables sounds the very best with my MSB Select 2, and of course the system that sits right behind me that you guys have seen throughout the past few months. Do you want to know which cable sucks with my system? Are you ready to know which cable really is absolutely just simply not good at all with what I got behind me? Stay tuned and find out. Welcome back everybody. Thank you for joining me today. Please subscribe, hit that notification button, continue to support the channel. I couldn't do this without you guys. Well, let me get right into it. Before I begin to talk about which power cord I feel is the best power cord I have had so far for the system that sits behind me, I want to make sure that there's a disclaimer that I need to say. This is my opinion, and my opinion only. Your results may be very different than my own results. Use my opinion right now if your system gets awfully close to the electronics that you see behind me. Behind me, you will see the magical S7, Boulder Electronics, MSB Select 2 DAC, our render music server. And just so that you guys are aware, I utilize Griffin Vanta speaker cables with this. The only other cable that was also transparent when I did this comparison were the XLRs, which are Reference XL Generation 6. I did not want to give the advantage to either cable brand. What I was trying to do is essentially put together a system. I was trying to get closer more to your systems. And what I mean by that is, if you guys were right now embarking on a power cord purchase, I wanted to literally grab either one of these, insert them into the system, paying no mind to the rest of the cables that I already own. This is why I wanted to do a different speaker cable than transparent, and of course stock power cords on the Render N30 SA. I didn't want to create the perfect environment for transparent cables to have the upper hand, so I wasn't going to favorite either cable brand. Okay, you guys first of all voted. As you can see, here are the results. It's clear you guys preferred presentation 2 over presentation 1. Okay, and I am going to disclose now which cable was which presentation. Presentation 1 was Shunyata, which means presentation 2 happened to be transparent Opus. Do I agree with what you guys feel, with your sentiments about presentation 2 being better than presentation 1? Do I agree with that? And the answer is yes. I totally agree with you guys that right now, the better cable in my system happens to be transparent Opus power cords. The better power cord. I want to make sure I say that. Let me tell you why. When I inserted transparent Opus power cords and I connected the DAC with 2 power cords into the strum tank, I found the following attributes. Number 1, far more clarity with transparent Opus power cords plugged into the MSB DAC. There was a lot more information. The images were far more dense. Speakers went off as if they were lights on a Christmas tree. The imaging was just strobe lights like this constantly. Any instrument that happened to be on the left side of the speaker, it was very present, extremely projected into the room. That was not the case with the Shunyata. And I am not going to say that it didn't image well. It did, but it wasn't as obvious. The separation, the stereo presentation, if you will, wasn't the same. It was a lot more calm. It was a lot more relaxed. That said, the Shunyata cable never really got as clear sounding as the transparent Opus did. I am willing to even say the following for full disclosure. When you guys heard that last video where I compare both presentations, I'll be very honest here. The Shunyata cable had approximately 3 days plugged into the DAC playing music. And when I went ahead and I swapped out the Shunyata for the transparent cable, I literally just unplugged the Shunyata cables from the DAC, inserted the transparent cables, and I proceeded to record. So if you want my honesty, I didn't even let the transparent Opus cables settle into the system. That's right. So if I'm being honest, the Shunyata had far more of a better chance at succeeding in winning this competition, but it clearly did not do that. So dead cold, literally pulled out of a bag and plugged into the system, the transparent Opus presented just a cleaner presentation with this clarity, liquidity that I don't feel the Shunyata cable just did. Regardless of how long I had the cable plugged into the system, it didn't matter, guys. I don't know if part of the reason why this transparent cables is really being phenomenal here, if it's because of this box here. Guys, I don't know what the hell is in here. I'm not an engineer. The Shunyata also has, as you can see, what seems to be like a filter. I don't know what's in here. Again, I'm not a cable designer. I'm just simply showing you. Both of them had essentially the same thing in the middle of the cable, whatever this is. Guys, for me, I'm not trying to bash any cable brand, because at the end of the day, this presentation could be entirely different if I had different electronics behind me. For instance, if I had a DCS DAC instead of an MSB, would the outcome be the same? Who knows? Probably not. Would it be the same if I had a lamp insator DAC? Who knows? Maybe not. Or an EMM Labs. Don't know. Okay. With that said, with the components behind me, it's clear that the transparent Opus is a far superior cable than the Shunyata Omega QRS when using the MSB DAC. If you have an MSB DAC out there and you're looking for a power cord, I'm going to tell you right now, don't waste your time buying a Shunyata power cord. It doesn't even come close to what the transparent cable Opus does. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your money. I did the homework for you, and you guys selected the transparent Opus cable. So what I'm trying to get at is, if you right now are about to buy an MSB DAC and you need to decide on different power cords, I did the homework for you. I saved you thousands of dollars. Shoot for a transparent power cord. Okay? Don't waste your time or money with Shunyata power cords on MSB. My personal opinion and my experience, which it's clear you guys agree with me. Most of you anyway. Now, with all that said, I am going to keep it real, because transparent isn't exactly perfect, okay? So although transparent won the shootout, okay, with my system, with the electronics behind me, it isn't a perfect situation by any stretch of the imagination. So don't go out there on the forums being very loud that I said transparent is the perfect cable for MSB. That is not what I said. I said it's better than Shunyata with MSB DAC, okay? But it also has its limitations. And what are the limitations? Simple. One of the limitations of this cable is, in my opinion, although there is so much resolution, clarity, detail, spaciousness, focus, I believe that transparent cables, and I don't know if it has to do with this box that they have, but I'm a believer that they are turbocharging the presentation. Think of it as having a 8-cylinder and you put a supercharger or a turbo. It's going to give you far more power, far more fun. But if you start getting real funny on that gas pedal, problems can get to you. For instance, overheating, burning a lot of gas. You got other components that are failing. The transmission can't handle the power. This is something you have to keep in mind when using transparent cables. You're not exactly off the hook with the cable. You have a certain volume level to play with. Once you step on the gas, once you give it volume, you have about 30 to 40 minutes before it's time to exit the room and find something else to do. I'm keeping it real here. Beautiful cable, awesome sound within a certain volume level. If you start to blast your system, and I've already told you how to measure your decibel levels. I already shared with you the name of the application. All you got to do is sit on your butt, pull out your phone, play the song, whatever song you want, for 2 to 2.5 minutes at the volume that you listen at, and see what the app tells you, approximately how loud you listen. If you are going above 81, 82 decibels, I am sorry to tell you that you're not going to last more than 30 to 45 minutes with the Opus Powercord. But if you are a person that likes to listen at a lower volume level, under 79 decibels, you can sit here for hours on end enjoying the clarity, the realism, the presentation that the transparent Opus Powercord gives you, which is phenomenal. But I will say it again, guys, careful with that volume level. You cannot blast with transparent cables. You will not last. That sheer clarity, that level of realism will get to you. I promise you, this was the same scenario when I had the Wilson Audio XLFs in the room back in the day. I couldn't understand at times why this was a thing until now, when I have some of the best electronics that money can buy. My power is good. My room is pretty much good. I have all my bases covered, as you know, and the outcome is the same. I can't sit here for long listening sessions. One of the ways that I have been able to counteract some of this extreme, intense clarity that the full transparent cable yields or gives you is by actually trying the Vanta series speaker cables from Griffin. Believe it or not, that combination has a perfect balance. Another thing that I've noticed with transparent cables is the fact that the soundstage tends to be a lot more narrow. It's not as diffused and as big as when using other power cords or speaker cables. So you have the problem with the volume level. You can't get too happy with the volume level. And you also have perhaps the issue with not a huge soundstage being presented. But it could be because maybe transparent is trying to just give you a lot more focus and imaging than the massive soundstage. Now, when I made my last video, I was very vocal about the fact that the winner of this shootout was going to indeed go up against a different cable brand. And I have that cable brand in here. Audience, front row. Okay? This cable, this power cord, will now go to battle transparent Opus on the MSB Select 2 DAC. How good is this cable going to be? Can it actually give me the perfect balance of resolution, clarity, soundstage, and not necessarily punish me for cranking up the volume? I don't know. I really do not know. What I can tell you at a high level, because I've already inserted the power cords in the system and that right now they're behind me already settling in, it's going to be a very interesting comparison. You guys might be very torn here with what you will be choosing. But that's what's beautiful about what I do. Okay, I come to you with facts. I give you guys a taste of what's happening in the room, and you guys get to decide what you like. At the end, I do the final wrap up, and I give you my opinion as to which cable, in my opinion, stole the show in my room. And for now, the better power core for the MSB DAC is, without a question, without a doubt in my mind, transparent Opus. Sorry, Shunyata. I think you need to go back to the drawing board. I think that with the MSB DAC, and by the way, I am not the first person that has reported this behind closed doors. I am just the first one being vocal about this. I don't believe Shunyata cables are better cables for MSB than transparent Opus. There you have it. I hope you guys have enjoyed this type of video. If you like this type of content, please comment below. Let me know what you guys feel has been your experience, perhaps with your own power cords. Don't forget, next week I plan to be traveling to the Magical Factory in California. So there will be a lot of content coming your way. Next week is going to be a busy weekend for me, but I am very, very happy to bring you guys something new and fresh as much as I can. Thank you for your time and continue to support me. Please subscribe. Peace.